for today's Cup of Coffee with Scream.
Cup of coffee.
The screaming continues. And what's interesting, what is coming out now is very much vindication for those of us that have been in the tinfoil hat gang for many years.
Mm-hmm. It has. Vindication is here.
Yeah. On a lot of it. And I think also what's interesting, and as I ponder these things, because as I'm prone to do, those of us that are Gen X, some of us knew this.
Mm-hmm.
And you've got millennials and those that are younger and stuff like that are just, some of them losing their shit. You've got the ones that are guilty, they're losing their shit.
Yeah. For
a totally different reason. And the Gen X people are just sitting there going, yeah, I thought everybody knew that.
Right.
And that's the reason, as far as we're not usually the ones that's going to be running around in circles and screaming during this time.
Mm-hmm.
So
we ain't gonna be losing our shit.
Well, and that was the veil between the worlds been very thin for quite some time now. And I was trying to look to see, because I was having an interesting discussion earlier, if I can find it. It's always good to have people that you can bounce ideas off of and have like mind. But also, you need every now and then somebody that's not afraid to stand up and go, no, I think you're wrong. I think you need to rethink that. Because Gen X, we can deal with that.
Yeah.
Other people, for whatever reason, cannot. And that is sort of confusing to us. It's confusing to me. And it has just been mind-blowing to see the differences in communication styles between those who are younger and those of us that are older.
Mm-hmm.
Because the younger folks, flat out, they want everything to be bubble wrapped.
Right.
And that's not how the real world works.
No, the real world is quite harsh at times.
Yeah.
And that's okay. That's just how it is. That's how people learn. You got to take the bad with the good. You got to take the good with the bad.
It's like this. Those of us that have had some of the training that I have had, you do not have, if it's an emergency situation, you don't have time for a dissertation. You have people that are supposed to be in charge, that are leaders. Mm-hmm. You understand that your position, if you are not the leader, is to follow the lead.
Mm-hmm.
And that if they give the command to do whatever, you do whatever.
Right. Yeah.
You know, and that's where you have to trust the leaders on these things.
Mm-hmm.
It wouldn't matter and that you train to where you don't have to think in a time of crisis. And that's what a lot of people, they're not prepared. No. Even in martial arts, you train to where you don't have to think about doing whatever. That is that muscle memory that you just automatically do.
Yes. Yes. And people don't seem to have that instinct or training within them.
No. There's a lot of people that they have absolutely no self-discipline. That's flat out.
Yeah. It is.
And that they don't want to hear truth. And we've had people that has been rejecting truth for a very long time. And then where it is hitting them square between the eyes right now, some people, I saw a gentleman today who had, he had been one of the brainwashed ones. He was from New York. And that he is seeing the lie that had been fed to him for many, many years.
Mm-hmm.
And for him to be bold enough to speak out and go, hey, you know what? I see through this now.
Yeah.
And that's great, because his voice can help other people speak out. A lot of people are truly afraid to speak out.
Yeah. They are, because they're scared of the backlash or whatever that they'll get. And that fear does prevent a lot of people from speaking truths.
Yeah, some of us just, it's not that we haven't had the backlash, and some of it has been just brutal.
Mm-hmm.
But you don't stop speaking truth, because it doesn't stop being truth just because you don't talk about it.
Right. Right.
And if you're not living in truth, it is a matter you're living a lie.
Mm-hmm.
If you don't speak out against the lies, then you're complacent. And there's a lot of people that have found themselves in very hard positions over the years.
Mm-hmm.
Those of us that were relegated to the tinfoil hat crowd, and that we are getting some vindication at this point. I would like to think that at some point there would be vindication for Alex Jones and Julian Assange and Edward Snowden. Because now you talk about the ones that truly suffered for revealing truth.
Mm-hmm.
And that all this stuff. But it was Butterfly Effect Astrology over on X, and she had posted about Neptune is about to enter Aries and waking up from the fog of propaganda. And then she also went on and she said that she used as the example, people get caught up in the $100,000 to study the cocaine's impact on Chihuahua stories.
What?
But she said that's not the actual headline. The headline is, the U.S. government robbed you blind in an effort to control your mind.
Holy shit.
That they found out that through this U.S. aid stuff that was funding George Soros, that money, those millions went to him. I had wondered about that before. Because I don't know how he makes his money. I don't know that I want to know.
Now, for those who are coming across our channel and don't know who George Soros is somehow, who is he?
He's an evil, evil man.
He is an evil man, but what is he over?
He behind a lot of the propaganda around, he has, and it's like I had to say allegedly just for legal purposes. The gentleman is a Jewish man that fought on the side. Basically, he helped the Nazis. That's not allegedly. That's reality. Mm-hmm. And you can go. I'm not going to go through. I don't have the energy to find links and stuff today, but you can find that. And anybody who is willing to basically sell out their own people, that makes you wonder.
Yeah.
But allegedly, he has been responsible for funding groups that have caused a lot of disruption and sometimes overturn within nations. There's a lot of some of these legal people, be they judges, DAs, whatever, that he has funded that allegedly released criminals back out on street. I mean, we're not talking just some of the shoplifters. I mean, that's bad enough. But we're talking some violent criminals.
Mm-hmm.
Some of who, if they murdered somebody, went on to murder other people. Because it was a matter of trying to create chaos and division within America.
Right.
And this has been a huge effort. And been very successful in some areas. To find out that also the monies, taxpayer monies, to fund propaganda. Which, there's a lot of us, and we knew that for a long time, Mockingbird Media. Mm-hmm. Why are they all saying the same thing at the same time? Well, it's the same script.
Yeah, literally, it's all the same script fed to them by these people. Mm-hmm. That want to control the masses, that want to keep them brainwashed, mm-hmm. that want to keep them just completely unaware of what's actually going on.
Well, and with the brainwashing and such, you've got to realize that when you have some of these people that are supposedly elected, even that is called into question at this point, and that they are screaming for people to do things. And they did this. We saw this before. As far as Maxine Waters, when she was saying do not let them have any peace. If you see them, confront them. Don't let them go to a restaurant and different things like that. Those are dog whistles.
Yes.
That if somebody is brainwashed enough to where they would follow that, how do they think that that's ever okay to harass someone? We saw this with some of the violent riots and protests and different things like that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And so for them to call for these things again.
Well, we even saw that, and I don't know how accurate this is, just this is alleged. We even saw that, allegedly, with the attempted assassination of Trump.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And that CIA was involved in some of this stuff. Mm-hmm. That is no longer allegedly.
So I don't have to say allegedly now?
No, you still have to say allegedly.
Okay.
Because it's like they have, while they still are, we are still micro mini podlings.
Oh.
But it has just, it's an incredible time to be alive. It's an incredible time to watch some of these things as they unfold. This is just the tip of the iceberg. And that they have been calling for the release of the Epstein flight log.
I'm kind of excited to see whose names were on it, just to see who gets exposed.
Well,
because all y'all's asses is getting exposed.
The thing is, with some of this stuff, when you have people that have unhealthy beliefs in leaders or whatever like that, they're humans. They're prone to mistakes.
Mm-hmm.
And we don't know whose names are going to be on there. We don't. But when you have a group of people that lose faith in their leadership, in their government and stuff like that, that's always destabilizing.
Mm-hmm.
But that there have been people that were awake during this process that were going, yeah. Now, at some point, or some of these people, some of the other people that are still deceived, God love them. I mean, I pray for them, but it's like some of these people can be dangerous.
Mm-hmm. Oh, very dangerous.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I don't know. God, I see some of these people on X, and it astounds me the level of unhinged some of these people are, to the point that they are assaulting just whoever.
Yeah. But the legacy media, I think, is the new term for it.
Mm-hmm. And what legacy have they left behind?
Right. As far as it truly being the propaganda machine that some of us have known that it was for a long time, because we remember when Obama made it legal to use that on the American people. It's all smoke and mirrors, and people are seeing through that. Mm-hmm. And the lies do not have the same weight that they used to.
Right.
And it's just like, I had responded to somebody on X today. I said, it's like, the clowns are still performing, but they don't seem to realize that the music has stopped. And it's just...
It's true. Mm-hmm. And that when that happens, that is a very awkward and...
Yes. And even as far as the disguise of that they used to say, there's thousands of people, and somebody flying a drone and getting the footage from the drone.
And showing like twos and fews.
Yeah. And it's also amazing how the people are catching on that some of these supposed spontaneous protests and stuff, these people have identical everything. Even before, they had seen people. They had camera footage. But the disinformation campaign was hiding all this. That there were vans that would pull up that had all the equipment, flags, signs, all this stuff. And these people were paid to go out there and protest. Now, you get random crackhead off the street that's like, hey, I'll give you $50 and a rock to go out here and protest. They gonna take it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. They're going to take that big money because it's money.
Yeah.
But at that point, it's blood money.
It is. It's all blood money. And you were talking about cults and stuff earlier. And if you look at some of these people, you can see that there's something not right.
Yeah.
And that is one of the ways that, and it's evil to take advantage of some of those people, indoctrinate them in some of these lies, tell them to go out and do, and they truly in their mind believe that they are threatened.
Mm-hmm.
They believe they're doing the right thing.
Yeah.
Because they're not operating at a level to where they have rational thought.
Right. Because they don't have rational thought.
And it's like, while I can empathize with that, no, I'm going to protect myself and my family.
Insane in the membrane. Insane in the brain.
And it's not just as far as government. It's all the other parts that is going to, all of this stuff is going to be uncovered. All of it.
It is going to be uncovered. And that's good.
Mm-hmm. But it's going to be painful. It is a matter of ripping the Band-Aid off. Do you want to do that centimeter by centimeter, or do you just want to take the corner and get it over with?
Just take the corner and get it over with.
Yeah.
There's no point. Like, it's more painful if you just, like...
Yeah, I think so.
Like, slowly peel it off.
Yeah. It really is.
I mean, what? With the ripping of the Band-Aid off, you get one sting and that's it? And it's only lasts for a couple of seconds?
Mm-hmm.
Not even.
Mm-hmm. But you got a lot of people that they don't realize, if you leave that Band-Aid on for so long, the skin underneath begins to break down.
Yeah. Yeah.
And you've still got these people, la la la, I can't hear you. And truth is marching on.
Mm-hmm.
It truly is. And that was one of the things at the inauguration, and they, as far as his truth is marching on, talking about God's truth. And I'm waiting for them to, as far as when it's going to come out about, I mean, it's a matter of triage right now. What is worse? What can be unveiled at what strategic time?
Personally, I would rather have God's truth.
Well, yeah, this is. I mean, God is truth.
Yeah, he is.
And Satan is the deception. He is the lie.
Mm-hmm.
But when it goes into some of these other industries, I mean, it's already as far as the education. And parents have been screaming for a long time. And the way that society is structured right now, for some people, it is very difficult for them to do homeschooling because in some ways it can be expensive.
It's expensive and it's time consuming.
It is. But it's like even that can be done in a way. And people are thinking. Thank God we have people that are thinking again.
Exercise that brain. It helps develop wrinkles.
Mm-hmm. That you can have.
Big wrinkly brain.
Within communities and stuff like that you can have small groups and hopefully people won't even have to worry about that at a certain point. I think that you could have maybe 10 kids. Now, you'll have to check the laws on this and the state and stuff like that. That you can homeschool at one time. So it could be one parent that's doing the instruction for that many kids without it having to be declared an actual school.
Yeah.
And this bureaucratic bullshit. Like, I mean, seriously, that we had gotten that far down the rabbit hole to where if you've got a parent that wants to instruct children, that somebody's like, no, you can't.
Literally. It's like, why can't I? Or do you actually mean I can't, or is it that you won't allow me?
Right. Because they don't want the kids to not be indoctrinated. They don't want the children to be able to understand that they can do the requirements usually within 2 to 3 hours and then go out and be kids instead of making them sit there for however long.
Which is excruciating for kids.
Yes.
See, that's why I always hated the word can't. Because it was all... And I learned this from a movie. Don't laugh at me. It's... A lot of the time when people say that you can't do something, it usually means, nuh-uh, I won't let you.
Yes. It's an authority word.
Mm-hmm.
As opposed to do not do something. Do not touch the hot stove. And people are going to do it.
Yeah.
Anyhow, just because somebody said don't touch it. They have to see for themselves that, yes, the stove is actually hot.
Yep.
But for whatever reason, we've got people that keep putting their hand, ow, that hurts, ow, that hurts, ow, that hurts.
Hey, some people are masochists. Some people are sadists.
That's true.
You know, so...
That's true. But when it goes into like the healthcare industry or the disease perpetuation industry, that's going to be massive. And we're recording this on February the 6th, 2025, and I think that they were supposed to confirm Bobby Kennedy or the vote on him or do whatever. I haven't heard anything at the time of this recording. That's going to be interesting because he has been another one that was relegated to the tinfoil hat crowd. That inquisition that he had to sit through by Congress, by some of them in Congress, that was excruciating to watch. That man is not stupid. He's not perfect. We're not voting him for Messiah.
Right. There was only one Messiah.
Yeah. But as far as does he know his shit? Absolutely. And he's got the receipts behind it. He's got the research. He's done his research.
Mm-hmm.
And that these other ones that were being paid by Big Pharma, my God, the memes have been brilliant. Oh, God, they've been brilliant.
I haven't been on X
And
today.
God bless the shitlords and the meme makers, and yes, their voices.
Mm-hmm.
Each voice matters. And
It does.
prayers. Oh my God, the prayers.
Yes.
But it's just incredible.
Mm-hmm.
But it's amazing how indoctrinated, all of us are indoctrinated, everybody. We just don't know to what degree. Even those of us that think that we're aware, there's shit we can't even fathom.
Well, the thing is, it goes so deep. It is beyond our comprehension.
At this point.
And it is so insidious.
Yeah.
It's beyond words, I would believe.
Well, yeah.
I believe.
Yeah. It's absolutely incredible. But what a time to be alive.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, some vindication.
Yes.
I think a round of applause for those of us who have the tinfoil hats.
So many notches on them.
Yeah.
Listen, you might as well add a couple more antennas on those tinfoil hats.
Oh my God.
You know what?
What?
Instead of tinfoil, what if someone made a helmet just out of tin?
That's possible. I figure I've got one of those bodysuits at this point. And by the way, oldest kid did finally get to be discharged from the hospital.
Yes, he's home and he's safe, and his wife was like, "Oh, I'm glad to be home."
And everybody has to make individual choices.
They do. It's their journey. It's up to them.
Absolutely. And it's a matter of respecting someone's journey, whether you agree with it or not.
Mm-hmm.
Prayers. Continue prayers. Please let blind eyes be opened. Let minds think. Let hearts feel.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody's doing the paranormal and the supernatural. Everybody. We've been doing it since we were born. Maybe before we were born. We don't know. We're spirit poured into these meat suits walking around.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. You want to tell the people where we can be found?
You can find us on BitChute, Rumble, and YouTube at Rolanda's Cup of Coffee with Scream. Also check her out on X, previously known as Twitter, Rolanda, COCWS. And get this, as we were talking through this whole thing, I had a revelation that I'll tell you afterwards.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Kid, bless him, youngest kid has been taking care of Mom because she's been having vertigo during all this. So he's been down there, and like I said, Mom is 80. And we did not need to have two in the hospital at the same time.
No.
And so tonight he's got a full caseload. He's got two of them. Well, he's got three all told.
His wife's got the ick too. She's got the suds.
It's a cold.
No, I'm not saying it's. Yeah,
no,
she's got the suds.
There were no symptoms. And when I confronted dude, I said, "Why are there no symptoms?"
Well, the thing is, the hospitals, flat out, this is truth. They're a giant petri dish.
Yeah.
So you're going to catch something.
Yeah.
If you stay in there for extended periods of time, you're going to catch something.
Yeah.
So that's why I'm just like, you got the suds.
But if you take vitamin C, zinc, check with your healthcare provider. They probably won't tell you these things. Oh, my God. You remember that there was a time, now my bunch did not do this, castor oil. If a kid was coming down with something, they gave them a spoonful of castor oil. And it was a purgative therapy. Mm-hmm. And it worked.
Well, yeah, castor oil does that. That's why a lot of the time, like, for example, when people put it in their belly button or they put it in their hair and have it just sit there for a while, they will develop, like, flu-like symptoms because their body is detoxing.
Absolutely. And that's something that people, they want to, as far as detoxing, and they don't tell people the correct information. There is a process of detoxing.
Do you got to taper it?
Well, you have to expect when there's like a die-off of whether it's parasites or viruses or anything like that, you can develop flu-like symptoms. Mm-hmm. And when I worked at the health food store, I would have to explain to people, it's like, look, expect this by about the third day.
Yeah.
It will pass. Stay on the course of the detoxification.
See,
it'll get better.
Yes, that's the stuff that I've researched as well. That's what in cosmetology school, and they didn't teach about castor oil being good for your scalp in cosmetology school, and I wish they did. Mm-hmm. It very much, by the third day, like, seriously, after that, it starts to get better. A lot better.
Yeah.
As if you can stick it out for those 3 days, it's much like getting off cigarettes or something. If you can stick it out for just, you're good.
Well,
you're
but
good.
You have to tell people what to expect, or then they think they have become sick.
Just drink some tea and get cozy.
There are some things that you do need to taper. Caffeine is one of them. You do not want to just suddenly stop that. Sugar, you do not want to suddenly stop that.
Cigarettes, you don't want to suddenly stop that. All of that, sugar, caffeine, nicotine, all that will make you feel like your head's about to explode.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. But if you taper it down, and that's true of any kind of pharmaceutical and stuff like that, if you've been on it for a long period of time, some of them you need to taper off. They don't bother to tell you that. A lot of times they'll give you a prescription and they'll keep you on it for years. Mm-hmm. And every day
antacids
is more. Yeah. Yeah.
Prilosec kills your gut flora.
I bet it's a matter of taking Tums as far as understand that you're going to have the rebound effect with the acid. Uh-huh. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And just take you some Tums, write it out, and get you some fresh pineapple. I had got me some fresh pineapple because that's bromelain. It's a digestive enzyme. Mm-hmm. And I have enjoyed the hell out of that, and it has helped tremendously.
Yes.
Yeah. So.
Ooh to the ooh to the ooh.
It's an adventure. Every day is an adventure. Know that you are loved. Treat other people the way you would like to be treated. Situational awareness anywhere and everywhere you go. Mm-hmm. It's like pray for discernment.
Yes.
There's those that you can help. Some of them, the best things you can do is pray for them from a distance.
Yeah.
For real. Some of them, it's a matter of just going, God, do what you need to do and do it quickly. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I love you, Mama.
I love you, baby. And Lord willing, we'll see you on the next cup. Mm-hmm. Bye.